Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming. It is 7 p.m., and I call the March 10th, 2025 School Board meeting to order. The Holmen Board of Education and the School District of Holmen acknowledge that our schools are located on the ancestral homelands of the Ho-Chunk, Sauk and Fox, and Dakota peoples. We celebrate and honor these lands and their sacred significance to Indigenous peoples. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, Board Clerk Maggie Smith, would you please call the roll?
Maggie Smith, here. Bridget Todd Robbins.
Here.
Barb Wunsch.
Here.
Kevin Zilke.
Here.
Jennifer Deek.
Here.
Khadijah Islam.
Excused.
Chris Lau.
Here.
Lindsay Need.
Here.
All right, with 6 of the 7 board members present, I declare a quorum. I note that the agenda has been posted, distributed, and sent to the local media. With this in mind, are there any changes to this agenda? I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as published.
So moved.
Chris has moved.
Second.
Maggie has second to approve the agenda as published. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion to approve the agenda as published, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. The motion to approve the published agenda has passed. And we do not have any public participation this evening. So moving on to reports and discussion. Item 7.1, District Administrator Dr. Kristen Mueller will present the Firewall Hyperconverged Solution Bid results. This item will appear on the March 24th consent agenda.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to, before we bring bids normally forward, we kind of share like what the project's about and so forth. And we were also hoping with this we were seeking some clarifications on a couple bids, and we were supposed to have some of those results before this evening, and they haven't quite got back to us either. So I'll share as much as I can this evening, and we'll definitely have the recommended bid winner to you before you would consent on it at the next board meeting. But basically, the district is seeking to replace hardware for all the virtual servers and storage solutions. So an RFP was released on January 27th with the deadline to respond on the 27th. And then once the results came back, there was actually 5 bids and solutions, and they are just following up on a couple of those. And also, additionally, some of the bids are eligible for E-rate qualifications, which we can provide up to 50% of reimbursement on the bid. So just getting clarification, because they want to make the best return on investment on this purchase, being that it is a large amount of money. So any questions on that?
Any questions? No
All right.
questions.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, moving on to item 7.2. Viking Elementary Principal Nina Swanson will present highlights from the school. This item is for report only and will not appear on the consent agenda.
Hello. Feels kind of weird being over here. I'm just kind of here just to share just some fun things that have kind of been happening at Viking. Just to kind of recap, this weekend, it was pretty neat for our Viking Express. We're the only elementary school that does like a little mini, she won't call it a show choir, but they do some fun moves. And it was so cool because they got to go and participate in the show choir at the high school on Saturday. And they did like their senior spotlight. So there's just some fun pictures of them. A lot of them got to kind of stay the whole time and see what it's like at the high school. And Mrs. Waldron leads our show choir and just does a fantastic job at getting the kids ready. And a lot of them go on to be in the middle school show choir. And a student said to Mrs. Waldron, I just want to go to middle school and high school now. Like, it's just really, I think, one of those things that like helps kind of bridge that gap. Some more pictures here. And then kind of some fun construction things. So when Dr. Mueller and I talked about me presenting, I was like, we have Act 20, new curriculum and construction. So it kind of sums up our year in a good way. As you can kind of see right here, our lunch doors are getting expanded. So everything in the middle at the end of the month here is going to start to get roped off. They're going to do the dust walls, and then that will be a hole into the ceiling. So that's just been a really huge undertaking with our library. They've done an awesome job at already packing things up, working with our maintenance crew, construction, just to really get that ready. Our families have been super supportive because obviously we've had to kind of cut down on checking out books. They've started to walk to the local library, so just some kind of field trips to check out some books, which has been great. We've gotten some donations. So just really proud of, I think kind of our theme is just really good teamwork. Everybody's really helped in to make sure that kids still can take a book home while also allowing our library to pack up those books. So we're getting ready for that. And then just another picture of that. And then right here will be the new route the students will take to the cafeteria. So they kind of took a storage closet and knocked down some walls, and then the kids will be taking this route. So this is already done, which is kind of neat, so we can kind of practice, make some videos for the kids so that it's all not a brand new change when that comes. And then I just kind of wanted to share a couple other things. We have been having an amazing PTO this year. We've had about 15 to 20 members at each meeting, which, have you ever been to a PTO meeting? That has just been really, truly fantastic to see the ideas. We're doing a dance based on their suggestions, so just kind of some new, some fun ideas. They were also able at our last meeting to give over $4,000 in grant money to our teachers, which is the most they've ever had. They had 19 submissions. And a lot of it was things for our new reading curriculum, just kind of the fun extra things to have that can kind of enhance it, some math manipulatives, just some really neat things. So we're just really, really appreciative to have that support in the community. We know that they do some fundraisers that people donate their money to. So thank you for that. Also kind of going on our CKLA, our new program, we are having West Salem Elementary visit next Monday. They are bringing a team of 10, and they're going to come watch our teachers teach. So that's kind of a vulnerable thing to do, especially are my kids going to be doing this? But all the teachers were absolutely, nobody shut me down. They were all very welcoming, even, to our reading interventions, to special ed, just really that inclusivity of how that curriculum looks. So it's really neat to kind of be recognized within our CISA 4 of people wanting to come and watch at our school. And also wanted to highlight our UWL partnership. We have been working with them on math this year. Our building goal has been, we kind of also did something a little bit different. Instead of always looking at the data, we're really looking at, are our kids being critical thinkers? Can they get a problem and can they look at it different ways? Can they persevere? So we've been doing what's called math tasks. And so it's not just what's 7 + 2, right? It's really looking at, I have 10 balloons. Some are big, some are small, some are purple, some are pink. How many different ways can you create that? And so just really some different challenging ways that kids, we know kind of we're raising our kids to be more critical thinkers. They can Google what's 7 + 2, but really teaching what that looks like to be inquisitive and to problem solve. So that's been really neat, which that also led into, we're getting some pre-service teachers who have never taught, and they're coming to teach literacy lessons this month. So they're coming twice a week this month and twice a week next month. It's their first time teaching. There's about 14 of them, so it's really neat to partner. We're the first school they're partnering with their new licensure. They're now doing special ed, birth through 3 early childhood, so it's regular ed and special ed. So it's just really neat to kind of get them in early to possibly recruit them maybe someday. So I think I got all the updates after I talked really fast. So any questions or anything like that, we just appreciate your support as always, and thanks for all you do for our schools too. So
All right, any
Thank you.
questions?
okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
One more picture. I don't know how to get out of this. Just exit that.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to the consent agenda. For the consent agenda, the board has been furnished with background materials on each item or has discussed it at a previous meeting. These will be acted upon with one vote without discussion. Would any board member like to pull an item out of the consent agenda to be discussed and or voted on separately? I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as provided.
So moved.
Motion by Maggie,
I'll second.
by Bridget.
Barb, sorry.
Second by Barb. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the consent agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes. All right, moving on to the board debrief. I will call upon board members and ask you to present any comments or committee reports you have. And tonight, we'll start with Maggie.
All right. Policy meeting was held on March 5th. All of those, I think, have their first reading tonight, so you'll see them in the board packet. I believe there were 18 of them advanced and 2 rescinded. Actually, we included some language about E-rate, which Dr. Mueller talked about a little earlier. I have a note here from our last board meeting that we had talked about state competitions for solo ensemble and choir, and I think it was revealed after the meeting adjourned that Keevan made state for solo ensemble and choir, so just wanted to do a special call out, sorry. And then also was just gonna give kudos to Julie and Dr. Mueller, because I thought that the referendum session right before this meeting was informative. And we have one more left, the 27th at 6:30, I believe. That's it from me.
All right, Bridget.
I mean, yeah, congratulations, Keevan. You can't keep those secrets from us. But yeah, also kudos to Dr. Mueller and Julie Holman. It was a really, really great presentation on the upcoming referendum, so thank you.
All right, Barb.
I have nothing tonight.
Keevan?
Okay. Student Council and the American Red Cross will have a blood drive on Friday, March 28th. There was a choir concert on March 7th. Show choir had their final performance this year. That was March 8th. That was Senior Spotlights, Viking Express, show choir performance, and then the Lighting of the Stars, which is, just tons of people from different grades going together. I heard they practiced for a week, and then they came on and they did amazing. And then spring sports are starting. That's like track and field, boys tennis, baseball, golf, softball, just to list some. ACT, Wednesday, March 19th. So juniors be ready and prepare for it, and seniors enjoy the day at home. Forensics, over 27 schools and over 200 students competed, and the entire Holman team advanced to state. Woohoo!
Nice.
State forensics is April 11th to 12th, and it'll be held on the U.S. Madison campus. And then the musical, A Spotlight on Broadway, is this Friday, March 14th, in the FAC at 7 p.m.
All right, thanks. Chris?
No, Maggie talked about policy and brought all those forward, so I don't have anything else.
All right, Lindsay?
Yeah, I thought the referendum meeting tonight was really helpful, and I even got some things from it, so there's just so much information, so anybody that can attend, I would encourage everyone to try to attend that if they can. Thank you.
Yep, I agree. The referendum meeting was done very well, and I encourage everybody to come out to the next one who has questions or wants to hear more. Moving on to item 9.3, the board has been provided with notes from the December 4th Policy Committee meeting. Please take a look at those. Item 9.4, the board has been provided with updates to 24 policies that the Policy Committee has advanced to the board for consideration. If a board member has any questions regarding a policy, they should reach out to Dr. Mueller prior to March 24th meeting, where the policies will appear in the consent agenda for approval. And then looking at our upcoming board meeting schedule, on March 19th, we have a board workshop at 6 p.m. On March 24th, we have a board meeting at 7 p.m. On March 27th is the referendum community session here in the boardroom at 6:30 p.m. On April 1st is our spring election, so please get out and vote. And April 2nd is the Wellness Committee meeting at 3:45 p.m. Is there any other business that needs to come before the board at this time? If not, I would entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Chris has moved.
Second.
Bridget has second to adjourn the meeting at 7:13 p.m. Motion carried. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion passes.